Beneath the golden sands of ancient Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers kissed the earth, lay a world that whispered secrets of the past. The Sumerians, who thrived in this cradle of civilization, were more than just builders of cities and creators of the first written script. They were dreamers, storytellers, and seekers of meaning, crafting a rich tapestry of mythology that colored every corner of their lives. The Sumerian civilization, one of the earliest in human history, was marked by its profound achievements. They built magnificent temples and ziggurats, developed complex systems of writing, and made advances in mathematics and astronomy. But perhaps their greatest legacy lies in their mythology, a vibrant collection of stories that offered explanations for the mysteries of life and the forces of nature. For the Sumerians, mythology wasn't just a set of ancient tales to be recited, it was the heartbeat of their existence. Each myth was a living, breathing entity that shaped their understanding of the world. The gods and goddesses they worshipped were not distant, abstract beings, but active participants in their daily lives. They were believed to govern the forces of nature, to influence human destiny, and to be deeply involved in the workings of the universe. In every myth, the Sumerians found answers to their most profound questions. Why did the sun rise and set? What caused the floods that sometimes ravaged their land? How should they live their lives in harmony with the divine forces that seemed to control their fate? The myths were their guidebooks, their moral compasses, and their connections to the divine. The myths themselves were preserved through cuneiform writing, the earliest known script. Inscribed onto clay tablets, these texts were both practical records and spiritual documents. Every wedge-shaped mark was a testament to their enduring faith and their attempts to capture the essence of their gods and their universe. These tablets, some of which have survived thousands of years, offer a glimpse into a world that was as vibrant and full of wonder as our own. The stories were passed down through generations, not just as entertainment but as essential teachings. They spoke of gods who created the world, of epic battles between good and evil, and of heroes who undertook great quests. Each story was a reflection of the Sumerians' understanding of their place in the cosmos and their relationship with the divine. In their tales, the Sumerians painted vivid pictures of their gods' lives and interactions. The sky god Anu, the storm god Enlil, and the water god Enki were not just distant deities, they were powerful and sometimes capricious beings who could affect the lives of the people directly. These gods were depicted with human traits, their actions driven by emotions and desires similar to those of the Sumerians themselves. This humanization of the divine made the myths deeply personal, offering a way for people to relate to and understand the mysterious forces around them. One of the most touching aspects of Sumerian mythology is how it captures the human experience. The myths are filled with moments of joy, sorrow, love, and conflict. They reflect the triumphs and struggles of the Sumerian people, their hopes for a better future, and their fears of the unknown. These stories were more than mere explanations, they were expressions of the human condition, resonating with anyone who has ever faced challenges or sought meaning in their life. Through these ancient stories, the Sumerians sought to connect with their gods, to seek favor and guidance, and to understand their place in a vast and often unpredictable world. Their mythology was a living tradition, one that was intimately tied to their daily lives and their spiritual beliefs. It was a rich, emotional landscape that provided comfort, inspiration, and a sense of belonging. Today, as we sift through the remnants of their civilization, we can still hear the echoes of their myths. The clay tablets, though weathered by time, continue to tell their stories, bridging the gap between the past and the present. They remind us of a time when the world was filled with gods and heroes, when every sunrise and storm carried with it a deeper significance. The Sumerian myths offer us a glimpse into a world that was as full of wonder and complexity as our own. They remind us of the timeless quest for understanding and the enduring power of storytelling to capture the essence of the human experience. In the heart of ancient Sumer, where the rivers nurtured the land and the sun warmed the skies, the Sumerians crafted a divine family that ruled over their world with awe-inspiring majesty. These gods and goddesses were not distant, remote figures but vibrant beings whose actions shaped the lives of everyone on Earth. Their stories are filled with drama, passion, and the raw, powerful forces of nature and human emotion. At the center of the Sumerian pantheon was Anu, the sky god. Anu was seen as the king of the gods, the father of all other deities. His role was both majestic and distant, overseeing the heavens and the divine order. Anu's presence was felt in the lofty heights of the sky, and his decisions were considered absolute, guiding the fate of the cosmos with a distant but powerful hand. Beneath Anu in this divine hierarchy was Enlil, the god of air and storms. Enlil was a force to be reckoned with, his moods directly affecting the weather and the seasons. His power was both creative and destructive. He could bring life-giving rain or devastating floods. The Sumerians revered Enlil for his control over the forces of nature, and his anger was feared as it could alter the world dramatically. Yet, he was also seen as a protector, someone who ensured that the natural world remained in balance. Then there was Enki, the god of water and wisdom. Enki was portrayed as a benevolent deity, known for his intelligence and compassion. He was a creator of life, associated with the rivers and the sea, and was deeply involved in the affairs of humanity. Enki's wisdom was sought in times of crisis, and his ability to bestow knowledge was a gift cherished by the people. He was often depicted as a savior, intervening to help humanity in times of need and guiding them with his insights. Inanna, the goddess of love and war, was a figure of intense passion and complexity. Her stories are among the most captivating in Sumerian mythology. Inanna's dual nature embodied both the nurturing aspects of love and the fierce energy of war. Her descent into the underworld, driven by a desire to confront her sister Ereshkigal, reveals the depth of her character and the dramatic tension in her life. Inanna's myths reflect the struggles and triumphs of human emotions, capturing the essence of both love and conflict. Utu, the sun god, was the embodiment of justice. He was believed to watch over the land with a watchful eye, ensuring that truth prevailed and order was maintained. His light was seen as a source of clarity and fairness, cutting through the darkness to reveal the truth. Utu's role was crucial in maintaining the balance between right and wrong, and his presence was a constant reminder of the divine order that governed the world. Ninhursag, the earth goddess, represented fertility and growth. She was the nurturing mother of the land, her influence seen in the growth of crops and the health of the people. Ninhursag's myths often focused on her role in creating and sustaining life, reflecting the deep connection the Sumerians felt with their environment and the importance of the earth in their daily existence. Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, ruled over the realm of the dead. Her role was both feared and respected. She was seen as the keeper of the souls, governing the afterlife with a stern but necessary authority. Her story, particularly her interactions with Inanna, paints a picture of the complexity and depth of the Sumerian understanding of life and death. The creation myths of the Sumerians are both wondrous and profound. The stories often depict the gods creating the world from a chaotic void, shaping the land, the sky, and all living things. One of the most famous myths tells of how the gods, led by Enki and Ninhursag, crafted humanity from clay to serve the gods and to care for the earth. These myths reflect the Sumerians' belief in a divine plan and their sense of being part of a larger, ordered cosmos. When compared to other ancient mythologies, the Sumerian pantheon reveals both unique features and striking similarities. Like the gods of ancient Egypt and Greece, the Sumerian deities were deeply involved in human affairs and had complex personalities. They could be both benevolent and vengeful, reflecting the unpredictable nature of life itself. However, the Sumerian gods were also distinctive in their specific attributes and roles, shaped by the environment and culture of Mesopotamia. In the grand tapestry of ancient myths, the Sumerian pantheon stands out for its richness and depth. The gods were not mere figures of worship but active, dynamic beings whose actions and relationships mirrored the complexities of the human experience. Their stories are a testament to the Sumerians' profound sense of wonder and their attempt to understand the world through the lens of the divine. High above the world, where the sky stretches endlessly, the ancient Sumerians believed in a powerful god who ruled from the heavens. Anu, the sky god, was the supreme deity in their pantheon, a figure whose presence was felt in every gust of wind and every twinkling star. Anu's role was one of great authority and reverence. He was seen as the father of all gods, the ruler of the heavens, and the overseer of the divine order. His domain was the vast expanse above the earth, a realm of infinite blue that separated the gods from humanity. Anu was not just a distant figure, he was the source of divine power and the ultimate authority in the universe. His gaze was believed to watch over everything, from the smallest blade of grass to the mightiest storm. In mythological stories, Anu's presence was often portrayed as both awe-inspiring and distant. One tale speaks of the creation of the world, where Anu, in his heavenly splendor, was part of a divine assembly that shaped the cosmos. He was depicted as a majestic figure, his power so immense that even other gods deferred to his will. His role was crucial in maintaining the balance of the universe, ensuring that everything followed the divine plan laid out from the beginning. One of the most compelling myths involving Anu tells of his role in the creation of humanity. According to the story, Anu, along with the other gods, decided to create humans to relieve the gods of their burdens. The gods were tired of working the land and performing tasks, so Anu decreed that humans would be created to serve them. This act of creation was not just a functional decision, it was a profound moment that set the stage for the complex relationships between gods and humans. Anu's attributes were both majestic and imposing. He was often depicted as a figure with a crown and a scepter, symbols of his supreme authority. His symbols included the heavens themselves, the stars, and the divine power that connected the gods to the world. Anu's influence was felt in every aspect of life, from the cycles of nature to the fate of individuals. His power was such that even the most powerful of other gods, like Enlil and Enki, were seen as acting under his overarching influence. The stories of Anu also reflect his complex nature. Although he was a supreme deity, his involvement in daily affairs was more symbolic than direct. He was the ultimate source of power and authority, but his actions were often mediated through other gods. This distance from the everyday concerns of humans emphasized his role as a cosmic overseer rather than an active participant in the daily lives of mortals. Anu's influence did not end with the fall of Sumerian civilization. His legacy extended into the cultures that followed. As Sumerian myths spread through the ancient Near East, they influenced the beliefs and gods of neighboring civilizations. In Babylonian mythology, for instance, Anu was adopted as a central figure, retaining much of his original significance. The Babylonians saw him as part of their own pantheon, preserving his role as a chief deity and continuing to revere him as the god of the heavens. The echoes of Anu's presence can also be seen in the myths of other cultures. His role as a sky god and supreme deity has parallels in the pantheons of ancient Egypt and Greece, where gods like Ra and Zeus held similar positions of power and authority. The Sumerian concept of a high god ruling from the heavens influenced the way other cultures viewed the divine, reflecting a shared human fascination with the power and mystery of the sky. Anu's impact on later cultures is a testament to his profound significance in the ancient world. His stories and attributes continue to resonate with people long after the Sumerian civilization had faded. The reverence for Anu highlights the timeless nature of human curiosity about the heavens and the divine order. Through the myths and legends that have survived, Anu remains a powerful symbol of cosmic authority and the eternal mysteries of the sky. When the skies darken and the wind howls with an intensity that feels like the breath of a mighty beast, the ancient Sumerians believed that Enlil, the god of air and storms, was stirring. Enlil's domain was vast and powerful, encompassing the very elements that shaped the world. His presence was felt in every storm that raged and every gust of wind that swept across the land. Enlil was not just a god of the air but also of storms and weather. His power could be both a blessing and a curse. When he was pleased, his winds brought rain that nourished the crops and made the earth fertile. But when he was angered, his storms could be fierce and destructive, flooding the land and causing devastation. The Sumerians viewed Enlil with a mix of awe and fear, knowing that his control over the weather was crucial to their survival. One of the most dramatic myths involving Enlil is the story of the Great Flood. In this tale, Enlil, upset by the noise and chaos of humanity, decided to send a devastating flood to cleanse the earth. The floodwaters rose, covering the land and threatening to wipe out all life. The gods, recognizing the severity of Enlil's wrath, took action to save humanity. In the story, the hero Utnapishtim was warned by the god Enki to build an ark to survive the flood. The tale of the flood is a powerful reminder of Enlil's immense influence over the natural world and the balance between divine power and human vulnerability. Enlil's role in Sumerian cosmology was profound. He was seen as the chief deity who governed the elements and maintained the order of the universe. His authority was absolute when it came to the weather and the air, and his decisions could shape the fate of the entire world. In the grand scheme of Sumerian beliefs, Enlil was crucial in the daily lives of people, affecting everything from agricultural success to the safety of their homes. Another significant myth involving Enlil is the tale of his conflict with the goddess Ninhursag. This myth tells of a time when Enlil's actions led to a curse upon the earth. Ninhursag, the earth goddess, was angered by Enlil's deeds and withdrew her blessings from the land. To appease her, Enlil had to seek forgiveness and make amends. This story illustrates not only Enlil's immense power but also his vulnerability and the need for harmony between the gods. Enlil's influence extended beyond Sumerian mythology and impacted later cultures. As the Sumerian myths spread through the ancient Near East, Enlil's attributes were absorbed into the mythologies of other civilizations. In Babylonian mythology, Enlil was revered as a major deity and continued to be associated with storms and the elements. His legacy influenced the way later cultures viewed divine power and the natural forces that shaped their world. The legacy of Enlil's power and influence is evident in the way storms and weather were perceived in ancient times. His role as a deity who could control the forces of nature gave him a place of immense respect and fear. The Sumerians' recognition of Enlil's power highlights the deep connection they felt with the natural world and their understanding of the delicate balance between human life and the forces beyond their control. Enlil's stories capture the essence of how the Sumerians viewed their relationship with the divine. His ability to create and control storms reflected the unpredictability of nature and the gods' role in both nurturing and challenging humanity. The myths surrounding Enlil are a testament to the Sumerians' awe of the natural world and their recognition of the powerful forces that shaped their existence. When the rivers flowed gently and the life-giving waters touched the land, the ancient Sumerians believed that Enki, the god of wisdom and water, was at work. Enki, also known as Ea in Akkadian mythology, was a figure of immense compassion and intelligence, wielding his power over the waters that nourished the earth and the wisdom that guided humanity. Enki's domain was as vast as the waters he controlled. He was the master of the freshwater seas, the springs, and the rivers, which were seen as sources of life and sustenance. His realm included not just the waters but also the deep wells of knowledge and wisdom. Enki was often depicted with the flowing streams of water and the symbols of wisdom, such as the fish and the goatfish, which represented his connection to both the earthly and aquatic realms. One of the most touching myths about Enki is the story of the creation of humanity. According to Sumerian legend, the gods were weary from their labor and sought to create beings to perform the tasks that they no longer wished to do. Enki, with his deep compassion for life, played a central role in this creation. He fashioned humans from clay, breathing life into them with his divine essence. Enki's act of creating humanity was not just a practical decision but a profound expression of his care and concern for the beings who would inherit the earth. This myth highlights Enki's role as a benefactor and a nurturer, deeply involved in the welfare of humanity. Another powerful myth involving Enki is the story of the flood. Unlike the tale of Enlil's destructive flood, Enki's role in this story is one of salvation. When the gods decided to send a deluge to wipe out humanity, Enki warned Utnapishtim, a righteous man, about the coming disaster. Enki instructed Utnapishtim to build a large boat to save himself, his family, and the animals. This act of divine intervention saved humanity from total destruction and is a testament to Enki's wisdom and kindness. He used his knowledge to protect and preserve life, showcasing his role as a guardian and a savior. Enki's influence on civilization was profound. He was seen as the god who bestowed knowledge and skills upon humanity. Enki was credited with teaching people the arts of writing, agriculture, and craftsmanship. The Sumerians believed that many of their cultural achievements and advancements were gifts from Enki. He was the patron of craftsmen and builders, and his wisdom was sought for solving problems and making important decisions. Enki's contributions to civilization went beyond mere survival. He helped shape the very foundations of Sumerian culture and progress. In the grand tapestry of Sumerian mythology, Enki's role was that of a compassionate creator and a wise teacher. His control over the waters symbolized life and abundance, while his wisdom guided humanity through challenges and uncertainties. Enki's stories reflect a deep respect for the forces of nature and a profound understanding of the human condition. His influence extended far beyond the myths, touching every aspect of Sumerian life and leaving a lasting legacy that resonated through the ages. In the twilight of ancient Sumer, where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine seemed thin, Inanna, the goddess of love and war, cast a spell of irresistible allure and fierce power. Her dual nature, encompassing both the tender warmth of love and the fiery intensity of battle, made her one of the most complex and captivating deities in Sumerian mythology. Inanna's symbolism was as vibrant and multifaceted as her character. On one hand, she was the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, celebrated for her grace and charm. Her presence was invoked in the hopes of romance, prosperity, and the blooming of the earth. She was often depicted with symbols of love and sensuality, such as doves and the morning star, embodying the nurturing aspects of femininity and desire. Yet, this same goddess wielded the power of war and conflict with equal fervor. Inanna was also a fierce warrior, her strength and determination driving her to battle against enemies and challenges. Her symbols of war included weapons and the lion, representing her bravery and her role in defending her people. This duality made Inanna a deity of extraordinary depth, her nature embodying both the gentleness of love and the harshness of combat. One of the most powerful and poignant myths about Inanna is her descent into the underworld. This story reveals the profound and sometimes tragic aspects of her character. Driven by a desire to confront her sister Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, Inanna ventures into the dark realm below. Her journey is not merely a physical descent but a symbolic one, representing her exploration of the unknown and the shadowy corners of her own existence. Inanna's descent into the underworld is a tale of courage, struggle, and transformation. As she passes through the 7 gates of the underworld, she sheds her earthly garments, stripping away her symbols of power and pride. She arrives before Ereshkigal, only to be met with death and defeat. Inanna's time in the underworld is a period of darkness and despair, illustrating the vulnerability even of gods and the inevitability of facing one's deepest fears. The story takes a turn when the gods, concerned for Inanna's fate, intervene. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, sends 2 figures to rescue her. Inanna is restored to life, but not without having experienced the profound consequences of her journey. Her return to the world above is marked by a sense of rebirth and renewal, reflecting the cyclical nature of life and the eternal balance between creation and destruction. Inanna's influence extended far beyond the borders of Sumer. Her myths and attributes were adopted and adapted by later cultures, particularly in the region of the ancient Near East. In the Akkadian and Babylonian traditions, she was known as Ishtar, maintaining much of her original significance but also evolving to fit the changing cultural landscape. Ishtar's influence is evident in the ways she was revered in these cultures, embodying the same dual aspects of love and war that defined her earlier Sumerian form. Inanna's stories continue to resonate through the ages, symbolizing the eternal struggles and triumphs of the human spirit. Her myths reflected the complexities of life, capturing both the joys of love and the trials of conflict. The goddess of love and war remains a timeless figure, her powerful legacy echoing in the hearts of those who encounter her story. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, casting its warm light across the world, the ancient Sumerians believed that Utu, the sun god, was casting his gaze over everything. Utu, also known as Shamash in Akkadian mythology, was much more than a celestial body. He was the divine enforcer of justice and order, watching over the land with an unwavering eye. Utu's role as the sun god was central to his identity. Every day, He rode across the sky in his chariot, illuminating the world and bringing light to both the righteous and the wicked. His journey across the heavens was seen as a powerful symbol of truth and clarity. Utu's light was not just physical but metaphorical. It represented the divine ability to see and reveal the truth, cutting through deception and darkness. One of the most poignant myths involving Utu is the story of his role in the Epic of the Legend of the Lost Tablet. In this tale, a tablet that held sacred laws and knowledge was stolen, plunging the world into chaos. Utu, with his radiant light, embarked on a quest to recover the tablet and restore order. His journey was fraught with challenges, but his determination and sense of justice guided him through. This myth highlights Utu's commitment to maintaining balance and righteousness, using his light to restore what was lost and protect the moral fabric of society. Another powerful story is the tale of Utu and the goddess Inanna. When Inanna descended into the underworld, it was Utu's light that helped guide her path. His unwavering vigilance was a beacon of hope and guidance, reflecting his role as a protector and upholder of justice. Utu's presence in these myths underscores his significance as a divine force that maintains cosmic balance and ensures that justice prevails. In Sumerian society, Utu's influence extended beyond mythology into the realm of law and morality. He was seen as the ultimate arbiter of justice, a divine judge who ensured that the laws were followed and that fairness was upheld. His role was central in the legal and moral systems of Sumer, as people believed that their actions were constantly under his watchful gaze. This belief instilled a sense of accountability and integrity in the society, as individuals knew that their deeds, whether good or bad, would be illuminated by Utu's light. The significance of Utu in the legal and moral systems was reflected in the codes and rituals that honored him. The Sumerians practiced various ceremonies to invoke Utu's favor and seek his guidance in legal matters. The famous Code of Uarnamu, one of the earliest known legal codes, included provisions that were inspired by Utu's principles of justice. This code sought to ensure fairness and equity, echoing the divine justice that Utu represented. Utu's role as the sun god and upholder of justice made him a revered figure in Sumerian culture. His light was not just a physical presence, but a symbol of truth and moral clarity. The myths and stories surrounding Utu revealed his deep connection to the principles of justice and order, reflecting the values that were essential to Sumerian society. His daily journey across the sky was a reminder of the ever-present divine watchfulness that guided and governed the lives of the people. When the first shoots of green broke through the soil and the fields turned lush with crops, the ancient Sumerians looked to Ninhursag, the earth goddess, with gratitude and reverence. Ninhursag, also known as Ki, was the divine embodiment of fertility and the natural world. Her presence was woven into every aspect of life that depended on the earth's bounty, from the growth of crops to the health of the land itself. Ninhursag's role was vital to the cycle of life. She was revered as the great mother who nurtured and sustained the earth. Her very essence was connected to the soil, the plants, and the fertility that ensured prosperity for the people. In her hands, the barren land could become a vibrant field, full of life and potential. The Sumerians saw her as a nurturing force, bringing life and sustenance to their world through her divine power. One of the most compelling myths involving Ninhursag is the story of her interactions with the god Enki. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, once fell ill due to his own creation, a series of new and experimental life forms that plagued him. In his suffering, Enki turned to Ninhursag for help. The goddess, with her profound connection to the earth and fertility, healed him through her knowledge and divine touch. This story underscores her role as a healer and caretaker, using her powers to restore balance and health. Another poignant myth is the tale of Ninhursag and the creation of humanity. According to this myth, Ninhursag played a key role in shaping the earth and ensuring that it was capable of supporting life. Her hands shaped the land and blessed it with fertility, allowing the growth of crops and the development of civilizations. This story highlights her integral role in the daily lives of the Sumerians, as the earth's abundance was directly linked to her favor and blessings. Ninhursag's influence extended deeply into agricultural practices. The Sumerians relied on her to ensure the success of their crops and livestock. Farmers prayed to her for good harvests and healthy animals, believing that her favor would ensure their prosperity. Festivals and rituals dedicated to Ninhursag were common, where offerings were made to honor her and seek her blessings. These ceremonies often involved the symbolic planting of seeds and the celebration of the harvest, reflecting the close relationship between the goddess and the agricultural cycle. The importance of Ninhursag's role in agriculture cannot be overstated. Her presence was felt in every aspect of farming, from the initial planting of seeds to the final harvest. The Sumerians believed that their ability to grow food and sustain their families was a direct result of her divine support. This connection to the land and its fertility made Ninhursag a central figure in their religious and practical lives. The stories of Ninhursag reveal a goddess who was both a nurturing mother and a powerful force of nature. Her influence on the earth and its fertility was profound, shaping the lives of the Sumerians in ways that were both practical and spiritual. Through her myths and her connection to the land, Ninhursag remains a symbol of life's cyclical and sustaining forces, embodying the deep respect and reliance that people have always had for the natural world. In the shadowed depths of the ancient Sumerian world, where light seldom reached and silence reigned, Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, ruled with an unyielding presence. Her domain was a place of mystery and finality, where souls journeyed after death. Ereshkigal's role was not just to preside over this somber realm, but to embody the profound and inevitable aspects of mortality. Ereshkigal's realm was both feared and revered. The underworld, known as Kor, was a dark and desolate place, a stark contrast to the vibrant life of the earth above. Here, the souls of the deceased gathered, and Ereshkigal's authority was absolute. She governed with a stern, yet just demeanor, ensuring that the balance of life and death was maintained. The underworld was a place where the dead found rest, yet it was also a realm that underscored the finality of human existence. The relationship between Ereshkigal and her sister Inanna is one of the most compelling and tragic tales in Sumerian mythology. Inanna, the goddess of love and war, was driven by curiosity and ambition to descend into the underworld. This journey was not merely a physical descent, but a profound exploration of the unknown and the darker sides of existence. Ereshkigal, reigning in her shadowy realm, welcomed her sister with a mixture of disdain and inevitability. The myth of Inanna's descent reveals the tension and complexity between the two sisters. As Inanna passed through the 7 gates of the underworld, she was stripped of her earthly possessions and symbols of power, leaving her vulnerable and exposed. Ereshkigal, unflinchingly enforcing the laws of the underworld, ultimately sentenced Inanna to death. This act was not born of malice but of adherence to the natural order that Ereshkigal represented. The myth reflects the harsh reality of death and the necessity of accepting one's fate. Inanna's subsequent resurrection, facilitated by the god Enki, brought about a temporary victory over the forces of death, but it also highlighted Ereshkigal's role in the cycle of life and death. Ereshkigal's domain was not one of cruelty but of essential balance. She ensured that the dead remained in their place, honoring the natural law that dictated the end of life. Ereshkigal's influence on Sumerian beliefs about death was profound and pervasive. Her role in the underworld shaped how the Sumerians viewed the afterlife and the transition from life to death. The idea of an afterlife governed by a powerful and unyielding queen reflected the inevitability and gravity of death. It was a realm where souls found their final resting place, and where the dead were judged according to the natural laws of existence. The Sumerians honored Ereshkigal with rituals and offerings, acknowledging her role in the afterlife. They understood that death was a natural part of life, and Ereshkigal's presence was a constant reminder of this inescapable truth. Her domain was a place of rest and finality, where the dead were received with dignity and respect. Ereshkigal's myth and her influence on Sumerian beliefs emphasize the deep and often somber relationship between life and death. Her role as the queen of the underworld was not just about overseeing the end, but also about maintaining the balance and order that governed both the living and the dead. In the quiet, shadowy depths where she ruled, Ereshkigal remained a powerful symbol of the inevitable journey that all souls must make. In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, where the cradle of civilization rocked with the rhythm of myth and legend, there lies a story that transcends time. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known tales, is a sweeping saga of heroism, friendship, and the search for immortality. This epic is not just a tale from the past, it is a profound exploration of human nature and the quest for meaning in the face of mortality. At the center of this epic is Gilgamesh, the historical king of Uruk, a figure who transcends his mortal existence to become a symbol of humanity's enduring struggle with life and death. Gilgamesh is both larger than life and deeply flawed, a king with unmatched strength and wisdom, yet also one who grapples with his own insecurities and the inevitability of his own mortality. The story begins with Gilgamesh's reign over Uruk, where his might and power are unmatched, but his rule is marked by arrogance and excess. This leads the gods to create Enkidu, a wild man who is as untamed as nature itself. Enkidu's arrival changes Gilgamesh's life forever. Their friendship is a force that tempers Gilgamesh's hubris and grounds him in humanity's shared experiences. Together, they embark on grand adventures, battling monsters and defying the gods. Their bond is a testament to the transformative power of friendship and the ways it can challenge and shape a person's character. One of the most poignant episodes in the epic is the death of Enkidu. The loss of his friend plunges Gilgamesh into a profound existential crisis. Confronted with the stark reality of death, Gilgamesh sets out on a quest to find immortality. His journey takes him across treacherous landscapes and into the company of wise and mysterious figures. He seeks out Utnapishtim, the immortal survivor of the Great Flood, hoping to learn the secret of eternal life. Through trials and encounters with gods and spirits, Gilgamesh learns that immortality is reserved for the divine. His quest is not in vain, though. Instead of achieving eternal life, Gilgamesh gains a deeper understanding of human existence and the significance of leaving a lasting legacy. He realizes that the true measure of life lies not in escaping death, but in the way one lives and how one impacts the world and the people around them. The Epic of Gilgamesh is rich with themes that resonate deeply with the human condition. It explores the nature of friendship, the pursuit of fame, the fear of death, and the search for meaning. Gilgamesh's journey reflects the universal struggle to find purpose and significance in a world where the only certainty is mortality. The epic's portrayal of the gods, both capricious and wise, mirrors the unpredictability of life and the limits of human control. The mythological implications of Gilgamesh's story are profound. His quest for immortality mirrors the eternal human desire to overcome the limits imposed by nature. Yet, through his experiences, Gilgamesh learns that immortality might not be found in defying death, but in embracing the human condition with all its imperfections. His ultimate realization, that living a meaningful life and being remembered through one's deeds is the true form of immortality, provides a powerful and heart-touching message about the nature of existence. The Epic of Gilgamesh continues to resonate because it addresses fundamental questions and challenges that are as relevant today as they were in ancient times. It captures the essence of what it means to be human, the struggles we face, and the ways we seek to make our mark on the world. Through its richly woven narrative and timeless themes, the epic remains a testament to the enduring power of stories to illuminate the deepest aspects of the human experience. In the silent expanse of ancient Sumer, where the stars whispered tales of creation and destiny, the myths of the cosmos began to take shape. These creation myths were not just stories, but a profound reflection of how the early Sumerians understood their place in the universe. They spoke of gods, primordial chaos, and the birth of the world itself, offering a glimpse into the deep, emotional fabric of their beliefs. One of the most evocative myths tells of the world emerging from a chaotic void. In the beginning, there was nothing but a vast, unformed expanse. Out of this primordial chaos, the gods began to shape the world. The Sumerians believed that the universe was born from the union of two primordial deities, Tiamat, the goddess of salt and the sea, and Apsu, the god of fresh water. Their mingling created a tumultuous, yet fertile, ground from which the cosmos would emerge. As the gods began to impose order on this chaos, the cosmos was structured into a divine hierarchy. The sky was separated from the earth, and the heavens were divided from the underworld. This celestial organization reflected a universe in which everything had its place and purpose. The gods took their positions, governing the forces of nature and the cycles of life. Enlil, the god of air and storms, took dominion over the heavens, while Enki, the god of wisdom and water, nurtured the earth. The Sumerian creation myths vary in their details but consistently emphasize the divine act of bringing order to the cosmos. One version describes how the great god Marduk, who later became prominent in Babylonian mythology, battled the chaos serpent Tiamat and used her body to create the heavens and the earth. This cosmic battle, rich with drama and symbolism, highlighted the themes of struggle and triumph that resonated deeply with the people. These myths were not mere stories, they were central to how the Sumerians viewed their world and their place within it. They believed that the gods had created the world for their own pleasure and to maintain order. Humans were seen as servants of the gods, responsible for upholding the divine will through rituals, sacrifices, and daily acts of devotion. This belief was both a source of comfort and a reminder of humanity's place in the grand cosmic scheme. The influence of these creation myths extended far beyond Sumerian culture. As Mesopotamian civilization evolved, these stories were absorbed and adapted by later cultures, including the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The fundamental themes of order emerging from chaos, the divine structure of the cosmos, and the roles of the gods in maintaining balance continue to shape the mythology and religious practices of these cultures. In Babylonian mythology, for example, the story of Marduk's victory over Tiamat became a central narrative, symbolizing the triumph of order over chaos and establishing Marduk as a supreme deity. The Enuma Elish, an epic poem of creation, echoed many of the themes found in earlier Sumerian myths and solidified the structure of the cosmos as understood by the Babylonians. These myths also influenced how people understood their relationship with the divine and the natural world. The order imposed by the gods was seen as a reflection of the natural order, and maintaining this balance was considered a sacred duty. The Sumerians and their successors believed that by honoring the gods and observing their rituals, they could ensure the continued harmony of the cosmos and the well-being of their society. The creation myths of ancient Sumer were not just stories but a profound exploration of existence and the divine. They offered a framework for understanding the world and humanity's place within it, blending the sacred and the practical in ways that resonated deeply with the people. Through these myths, the Sumerians expressed their awe at the cosmos and their reverence for the forces that shaped their lives, creating a legacy that would echo through the ages. In the ancient city of Uruk, the air was thick with the scent of incense, the soft murmur of prayers, and the rhythm of rituals that bridged the human and the divine. Sumerian religion was more than a set of beliefs, it was a way of life woven into the very fabric of daily existence. Through their rituals and ceremonies, the Sumerians reached out to their gods, seeking their favor and ensuring the harmony of their world. Religious practices were at the heart of Sumerian culture, reflecting a profound dedication to the divine. Temples were not just places of worship, but grand edifices that symbolized the connection between the gods and the people. These temples, often towering with majestic ziggurats, were seen as the earthly abodes of the gods. They were meticulously maintained, adorned with intricate carvings and statues, and served as focal points for both religious and social activities. The priesthood played a central role in these ceremonies. Priests and priestesses were seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people. They performed sacred rituals, offered sacrifices, and interpreted divine will. Their days were filled with duties that ensured the gods' continued favor. The rituals were often elaborate and included offerings of food, drink, and precious objects. Each act of devotion was performed with care, reflecting a deep reverence for the divine and a belief in the gods' direct influence on their lives. One of the most poignant rituals was the daily offering to the gods. At dawn, priests would enter the temple, carrying sacred items and reciting prayers. These offerings were meant to nourish the gods, both physically and spiritually. In return, the gods were believed to bless the land with fertility and prosperity. This daily ritual was a reminder of the constant and intimate relationship between the divine and the earthly. Festivals also held a special place in Sumerian religious life. They were vibrant events filled with music, dancing, and communal feasts. These celebrations often marked the changing of seasons, agricultural cycles, or significant events in the lives of the gods. One such festival was the Akitu, a New Year festival that celebrated the renewal of the king's divine mandate and the rebirth of the land. During these festivals, myths were enacted through drama and dance, bringing the stories of the gods to life and allowing the people to participate in their divine dramas. The role of myth in Sumerian religious life was integral. Myths were more than stories, they were the foundation upon which religious practices were built. They provided the narratives that explained the gods' actions, the origins of the world, and the reasons behind rituals. Through myth, the Sumerians understood their place in the cosmos and the divine order that governed their lives. The myths were recited during ceremonies, woven into prayers, and reflected in the art and architecture of their temples. For instance, the myth of Inanna's descent into the underworld was not just a story but a central theme in rituals that sought to align the earthly with the divine. The tale of Inanna's journey and return symbolized the cycles of life and death, fertility, and renewal. Rituals inspired by these myths helped the Sumerians to make sense of their own lives and the world around them, reinforcing their connection to the divine and their role within the cosmic order. In these sacred spaces and through these rituals, the Sumerians experienced a deep sense of connection to their gods. The temples were not only places of worship but the very heart of their spiritual and social life. The acts performed within these walls were imbued with the belief that they maintained the balance of the cosmos and ensured the well-being of their society. The dedication to ritual and religion reflected the Sumerians' profound respect for the divine forces that shaped their world. Their ceremonies were a testament to their understanding of the gods' essential role in sustaining life and the natural order. Through their religious practices, the Sumerians reached out to the divine, seeking harmony, prosperity, and a meaningful connection to the forces that governed their existence. In the ancient world of Sumer, where the whispers of the gods and the echoes of the past intertwined, the concept of the afterlife was both a haunting and a comforting presence. The Sumerians believed in an underworld that was as rich and intricate as their understanding of life itself. This dark, shadowy realm was not a place of eternal torment but a necessary stage in the journey of the soul, reflecting the complexities of their beliefs about death and the afterlife. The Sumerian afterlife was a place called Kur, a dreary and somber underworld governed by the stern goddess Ereshkigal. Kur was a realm where the dead resided, a place of shadow and silence far removed from the vibrant life of the world above. Here, the souls of the departed were received with a mix of respect and inevitability. It was not a place of punishment but rather a final destination where the dead could rest and be judged according to their earthly deeds. Kur was described as a dark and dusty place, where light seldom penetrated and the air was thick with the stillness of eternity. The underworld was divided into various sections, each with its own features and rules. The souls were judged upon arrival, and their fates were determined based on their actions during their lifetime. The Sumerians believed that the quality of one's afterlife was directly influenced by their behavior on earth. Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, was a formidable figure. Her presence was both awe-inspiring and intimidating. As the ruler of Kur, she ensured that the souls of the dead were accounted for and that the natural order of life and death was maintained. Ereshkigal was often depicted as a powerful and somber deity, embodying the finality and gravity of death. Her role was essential in maintaining the balance between life and the afterlife. The rituals and beliefs related to death were deeply ingrained in Sumerian life. When someone died, elaborate funerary rites were performed to ensure a safe passage to the underworld and to appease the gods. These rituals included offerings of food, drink, and other items deemed necessary for the journey to Kur. The dead were often buried with items they might need in the afterlife, such as amulets, vessels, and even food. One of the most poignant customs was the death pit burial, where the deceased was placed in a grave along with items for the afterlife. These offerings were meant to provide comfort and sustenance in the dark and lonely realm of Kur. The Sumerians believed that these rituals helped the soul navigate the underworld and find peace. Additionally, prayers and incantations were recited to protect and guide the soul. These were often performed by family members or priests who sought to ensure that the deceased was received favorably by Ereshkigal and the other denizens of the underworld. The rituals also aimed to ward off any malevolent spirits that might hinder the deceased's journey. The idea of an afterlife was a deeply emotional and significant part of Sumerian religion. It provided a framework for understanding death and offered a sense of continuity beyond the mortal realm. The beliefs about Kur and the rituals surrounding death reflected a profound respect for the divine and the natural order, as well as a deep-seated desire to honor and remember those who had passed. In the quiet, shadowed depths of Kur, where the souls of the departed found their final resting place, the Sumerians found a way to cope with the inevitability of death. Their rituals and beliefs provided a comforting structure to the end of life, ensuring that even in the dark underworld, the memory and respect for the dead lived on. In the dim light of ancient Sumerian temples, where the echoes of myths lingered in every corner, stories of creation and cataclysm whispered through the ages. These tales were not mere legends, but reflections of humanity's deepest fears and hopes. The Sumerian myths of creation and flood reveal a world shaped by divine forces, a world where gods and humans grappled with the forces of nature and destiny. The Sumerian creation myths are a tapestry of wonder and drama, weaving together the birth of the world from chaos. At the heart of these stories is the idea that the universe was born from a primal, watery abyss. This chaotic state was tamed by the gods, who brought order out of disorder. The gods of Sumer, each with their own unique roles, shaped the heavens and the earth. The sky was separated from the sea, and the land was formed from the body of the primordial goddess Tiamat, who had been vanquished in a great cosmic battle. One of the most profound aspects of these myths is the way they portray the gods as both creators and caretakers of the world. They were not distant, abstract entities, but active participants in the unfolding drama of existence. The gods established the cycles of nature, from the growth of crops to the flow of rivers, ensuring that the world remained in balance. This balance was crucial for the Sumerians, whose lives were deeply intertwined with the natural world. Among the most striking stories in Sumerian mythology is the tale of the Great Flood. This story is a vivid and powerful account of divine retribution and renewal. According to the myth, the gods decided to send a great flood to wipe out humanity because of its sins and failings. The flood was a cleansing force, meant to start anew and restore order. The flood narrative centers around a hero named Ziusidra, who was forewarned by the god Enki of the impending disaster. In a dramatic twist, Enki instructed Ziusidra to build a boat to survive the deluge. The floodwaters swept across the land, erasing the traces of human civilization. Ziusidra and his crew survived, and after the waters receded, they made offerings to the gods, who promised never to destroy humanity in such a manner again. The story of the Great Flood is not just a tale of disaster, but a powerful symbol of hope and renewal. It reflects the Sumerian belief in the cyclical nature of life, where destruction is followed by rebirth. This myth emphasized the fragility of human existence and the need for respect and harmony with the divine forces that governed the world. When comparing the Sumerian flood myth to other ancient flood narratives, such as the biblical account of Noah's Ark, striking similarities and differences emerge. The story of Noah also features a divine flood sent to cleanse the world, with a chosen hero saving humanity through a great vessel. Both myths share themes of divine judgment, human fallibility, and the promise of renewal after catastrophe. However, the Sumerian myth places a unique emphasis on the role of Ziusidra and the gods' direct involvement in ensuring the survival of the chosen. These myths resonate with a deep, emotional understanding of the world and humanity's place within it. They speak of divine power and human vulnerability, of destruction and the hope for a new beginning. The Sumerian stories of creation and flood reflect the ancient people's attempts to make sense of their existence and their relationship with the divine forces that shaped their world. Through these myths, they conveyed timeless truths about the nature of life, the inevitability of change, and the enduring hope for renewal. In the ancient lands of Sumer, stories of heroes leaped off the tablet surfaces and danced into the hearts of those who listened. These tales were more than mere adventures, they were reflections of the human spirit, capturing the essence of bravery, strength, and the quest for meaning. Among the many heroic figures that illuminated Sumerian mythology, one name stands tall above the rest: Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, was a figure both revered and feared. His legend began with Auror, a powerful, godlike ruler whose strength and ambition knew no bounds. He was two-thirds divine and one-third human, a blend that made him both extraordinary and deeply relatable. The people of Uruk admired his grandeur but also struggled under his rule, which led him on a quest for self-discovery that would span beyond the mortal realm. The adventures of Gilgamesh were not just heroic feats, they were deeply personal journeys. His quest for immortality after the death of his close friend Enkidu was a poignant exploration of human mortality. The hero faced monsters, crossed treacherous landscapes, and even descended into the underworld in search of eternal life. Yet, in the end, his quest revealed a profound truth: immortality was not in living forever, but in the legacy one leaves behind. The tales of Gilgamesh are filled with moments that pull at the heartstrings. From his deep sorrow over Enkidu's death to his awe-inspiring encounters with gods and mythical creatures, each story underscores his humanity. Gilgamesh's encounters with the gods and his battles against mighty foes highlight his courage and strength, but also his vulnerability. These legends showed that even the mightiest hero could be humbled by the great forces of life and death. Gilgamesh's heroic journey is more than just a sequence of battles and adventures, it is a story of transformation. His initial quest for personal glory evolves into a profound understanding of his own humanity and the importance of leaving a positive mark on the world. Through his trials, he learns about friendship, leadership, and the true nature of heroism. When comparing Gilgamesh with heroes from other ancient myths, such as Hercules from Greek mythology or King Arthur from Arthurian legend, intriguing parallels and contrasts emerge. Like Gilgamesh, Hercules performed incredible feats of strength and courage, facing daunting challenges and overcoming insurmountable odds. Both heroes embarked on quests that tested their limits and defined their legacies. King Arthur, too, shared some similarities with Gilgamesh. Arthur's journey is marked by the pursuit of nobility, the formation of a legendary fellowship, and the quest for a meaningful existence. However, while Arthur's heroism is often framed within the context of chivalry and the quest for the Holy Grail, Gilgamesh's story is deeply personal, focusing on the existential struggle between life and death. These comparisons reveal that while heroic myths may differ in their specific details and cultural contexts, they universally address fundamental human concerns. They explore the nature of heroism, the quest for meaning, and the enduring struggle to overcome life's greatest challenges. Heroes like Gilgamesh, Hercules, and Arthur all embody the qualities that people have admired throughout history: bravery, resilience, and the quest for personal growth. In the heart of Sumer, where the ancient stories were etched into clay and whispered through the ages, the legends of heroes like Gilgamesh continue to resonate. They capture the essence of what it means to be human, struggling against the odds, seeking to make a difference, and ultimately discovering the true nature of heroism. These myths, rich with emotion and adventure, remain timeless reminders of the enduring power of the human spirit. In the ancient world of Sumer, where everyday life intertwined seamlessly with the divine, magic was not just a mystical practice but a vital force that shaped existence. From the bustling cities of Uruk to the sacred temples of Nippur, magic flowed through the lives of the Sumerians like an invisible current, influencing their beliefs, rituals, and understandings of the universe. Magic in Sumerian society was both revered and feared. It was seen as a powerful tool that could influence the divine and natural worlds. Priests, sorcerers, and sages wielded this power, navigating the delicate balance between harnessing its potential and respecting its inherent dangers. Magic was used to heal the sick, protect against evil spirits, and ensure the success of ventures like agriculture and trade. The practice of magic was embedded in the daily lives of the Sumerians, reflecting their deep belief in the interconnectedness of all things. Among the many mythological figures associated with sorcery, one stands out with a shadowy, captivating presence: the goddess Ereshkigal. Known as the Queen of the Underworld, Ereshkigal also wielded formidable magical powers. Her dominion over the underworld was not merely a realm of darkness, but a place where the mystical and the mortal converged. Her ability to command the dead and influence the fate of souls gave her a profound, almost haunting influence over the lives of the living. Another powerful figure associated with magic was the goddess Inanna, or Ishtar. Inanna's dual nature as a goddess of both love and war made her a complex and fascinating character. Her journey to the underworld, a tale of both conquest and sacrifice, highlighted her magical prowess. Inanna's descent into the underworld was not just a journey of physical distance, but also a potent ritual that demonstrated her control over life, death, and the mystical forces that bound them. Magic in Sumerian society was deeply intertwined with ritual and belief. Temples and sacred spaces were not just places of worship, but centers of magical practice. Rituals conducted by priests often included spells, incantations, and offerings to appease gods and spirits. These ceremonies were designed to invoke divine favor, ward off evil, and bring about desired outcomes. The power of magic was believed to reside not just in the words spoken or the objects used, but in the connection between the human and the divine. Practices surrounding magic were complex and varied. One common method was the use of amulets and charms, which were worn or placed in homes to protect against malevolent forces. These amulets were often inscribed with sacred symbols and texts, believed to carry the power to ward off evil. The use of magical texts, often written on clay tablets, was also widespread. These texts contained spells and instructions for invoking divine powers or achieving specific goals. One of the most poignant aspects of Sumerian magic was its role in healing. Magical practices were employed to cure illnesses and alleviate suffering. Healers, who combined knowledge of herbs with incantations, were highly respected in Sumerian society. Their ability to address both the physical and spiritual aspects of illness made them essential figures in maintaining the well-being of the community. The emotional weight of these practices cannot be understated. For the Sumerians, magic was not just a tool but a bridge to the divine, a means of interacting with the gods and shaping their destinies. The rituals, the invocations, and the use of magical objects were all expressions of a deep and abiding belief in a world where the mystical and the mundane were inseparable. In the heart of Sumerian society, magic was a reflection of their hopes and fears, their desires and their struggles. It was a powerful force that connected them to the divine and to each other, shaping their understanding of the world and their place within it. The figures who practiced magic, whether deities or mortal practitioners, were seen as vital links between the human and the divine, guiding their lives through the unseen currents of the mystical realm. The ancient Sumerian myths, etched onto clay tablets and whispered through the ages, did more than simply fade into history. They cast a long shadow across time, touching the lives and cultures that followed. Their influence seeped into the fabric of later Mesopotamian civilizations, leaving a legacy that still echoes in our world today. The stories of the Sumerian gods and heroes were not confined to the city-states of Sumer. As the region evolved, these myths were woven into the cultural tapestries of the Babylonians and Assyrians. Babylonian legends, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, preserved and expanded upon earlier Sumerian tales. The Babylonians revered the same gods and recounted similar myths, though with their own unique twists and interpretations. Enlil became Marduk, and the stories of creation and flood were adapted to fit the evolving religious landscape. The Assyrians, too, were deeply influenced by Sumerian mythology. Their epic tales and royal inscriptions bore the marks of Sumerian gods and heroic figures. The Assyrian kings, like their Babylonian predecessors, often invoked Sumerian deities in their inscriptions and rituals, connecting their reigns to the ancient myths that had once animated the Sumerian city-states. This continuity of myth and deity demonstrates how Sumerian beliefs were not just regional but universal in the ancient Near East. The myths of Sumer influenced the religious practices and cultural narratives of succeeding civilizations, shaping their understanding of the divine and the heroic. In the modern world, the Sumerian myths continue to captivate and inspire. Literature, art, and media have drawn upon these ancient stories, reimagining and reviving them for new audiences. The Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, has inspired countless adaptations, from literary works to films. The tale of Gilgamesh's quest for immortality resonates with contemporary themes of human struggle and aspiration, bridging the gap between ancient and modern sensibilities. In literature, the grandeur of Sumerian myths offers rich material for exploration. Writers and scholars have reinterpreted these stories, reflecting on their themes of heroism, fate, and the divine. The sense of wonder and tragedy in Sumerian tales continues to inspire new generations, who find in them timeless reflections of human experience. The rediscovery of Sumerian texts, buried for millennia beneath the sands of time, has brought these ancient myths back into the light. Archaeologists and scholars have painstakingly translated and analyzed these texts, unlocking the secrets of a lost world. The work of these researchers has not only preserved the Sumerian myths, but has also rekindled interest in their cultural and historical significance. Each tablet, each fragment of text, tells a story of a civilization that saw itself as a link between the divine and the mortal. The excitement of uncovering these ancient words is matched by the emotional weight of connecting with the thoughts and dreams of a people who lived so long ago. The preservation of these texts is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling and the human desire to understand the mysteries of existence. The legacy of Sumerian mythology is a poignant reminder of the ways in which ancient cultures continue to shape our understanding of the world. From the temples of Uruk to the pages of modern books, these myths have traveled through time, touching the hearts and minds of countless people. Their stories, rich with emotion and depth, continue to inspire and connect us with the distant past, revealing the timeless nature of human dreams and struggles. Amidst the dust and decay of millennia, the ancient Sumerians entrusted their myths to clay tablets. These tablets, inscribed with cuneiform script, were more than just records, they were vessels carrying the heartbeats of a civilization. Every symbol, every etched line was a thread in the rich tapestry of Sumerian stories, preserved through the ages by the sheer power of language. Language in Sumer was not merely a means of communication but a sacred tool for preserving and transmitting knowledge. The intricate cuneiform script, with its wedge-shaped impressions, was both a practical writing system and a repository of culture. It captured the vibrancy of Sumerian life, from administrative records to the deeply cherished myths that spoke of gods, heroes, and the mysteries of existence. The Sumerian texts, with their detailed descriptions and poetic imagery, offer a window into the soul of this ancient world. These texts include not just epic tales like the Epic of Gilgamesh, but also hymns, prayers, and rituals. Each inscription tells a story of its own, etched carefully into clay by scribes who understood the importance of their craft. Their work was not merely about recording facts, but about weaving narratives that would transcend time and touch future generations. Translating these ancient texts poses immense challenges. The cuneiform script, though once a sophisticated method of writing, has left scholars grappling with its complexities. Many words and phrases have meanings that can only be approximated in modern languages. The symbols, which were once a vivid language of their own, often lack direct counterparts in today's world. Translators must navigate these difficulties, piecing together fragments of meaning from texts that are often incomplete or damaged. The process of translation is both a science and an art. It involves not only decoding the symbols but also understanding the cultural context and nuances behind them. Translators must immerse themselves in the Sumerian worldview to capture the essence of the myths and legends accurately. It is a painstaking task that requires a deep respect for the original texts and an appreciation for their place in history. The breakthroughs in translating Sumerian texts are nothing short of miraculous. Each successful translation breathes life into the myths and legends of ancient Sumer, allowing modern readers to experience the wonder and emotion that those early stories conveyed. These translations connect us to a world that might otherwise remain lost in time, letting us hear the voices of people who lived thousands of years ago. The heart of this process is the realization of how language bridges the gap between past and present. It is through these ancient words that we come to understand the fears, hopes, and dreams of the Sumerians. Every translation, every interpretation, is a step closer to comprehending the profound connection that these ancient people had with their myths and their world. In every carefully etched symbol and every painstakingly translated text, there lies a deep, poignant link to the ancient past. The Sumerian language, with all its complexities and nuances, holds the keys to unlocking the emotional and cultural essence of a civilization that once thrived in the cradle of human history. Through these ancient writings, we are not just learning about the past, we are feeling its heartbeat, experiencing its dreams, and connecting with a world that continues to echo through the corridors of time. In the vast expanse of ancient mythologies, Sumerian tales stand out with their own unique rhythm, yet they also resonate with echoes from distant lands. The myths of Sumer, with their gods and epic heroes, share surprising connections with the stories of ancient Egypt, Greece, and beyond, revealing a tapestry of shared human experiences and dreams. Take, for instance, the myth of the Great Flood. Sumerian texts recount a deluge sent by the gods to wipe out humanity, a story that bears striking similarities to the biblical flood narrative and the ancient Greek story of Deucalion's flood. In these myths, a great water catastrophe serves as both a divine punishment and a cleansing rebirth, reflecting universal themes of human frailty and redemption. The stories speak of a world washed clean by water, where only the chosen few survive to repopulate and renew the earth. Sumerian creation myths also show intriguing parallels with other ancient cultures. The Sumerian gods Enki and Enlil are involved in creating humans from clay, a theme that mirrors the Egyptian gods molding humanity from the earth and the Greek story of Prometheus creating man from clay. These myths reveal a shared belief in divine craftsmanship, where gods shape human beings from the very elements of the world. Yet, Sumerian mythology also reveals its own distinctive colors. Unlike the often anthropomorphic deities of Greek mythology, Sumerian gods like Anu and Enlil possess an aura of cosmic authority, ruling over the heavens and earth with a more detached, majestic power. Sumerian myths often focus on the interplay between gods and humans in the backdrop of cosmic order, while Greek myths might center more on the personal dramas and caprices of their gods. In terms of heroic tales, Sumer's Epic of Gilgamesh offers a poignant contrast to the Greek epics of Homer. Gilgamesh's quest for immortality, driven by personal loss and the search for meaning, resonates deeply with human struggles and fears. It shares the grandeur of Greek heroes, but with a distinctively Sumerian touch, an exploration of existential questions that is both personal and universal. The hero's journey in Sumerian mythology intertwines with the fate of cities and gods, reflecting a unique blend of personal ambition and divine influence. Comparing these mythologies helps illuminate the role of myths in ancient cultures. They were not merely stories, but integral parts of the cultural fabric, shaping values, beliefs, and societal norms. In Sumer, myths provided explanations for natural phenomena, reinforced social hierarchies, and offered moral lessons. In Egypt and Greece, myths also served to connect individuals with the divine, providing frameworks for understanding human existence and its place in the cosmos. The way myths address similar themes, creation, flood, heroism, across different cultures underscores a common human endeavor to grapple with the mysteries of life and existence. Whether through the cosmic order of Sumerian deities, the rich pantheon of Greek gods, or the divine interventions in Egyptian mythology, these ancient stories reveal a shared quest to explain the unexplainable and to find meaning in the vastness of the world. In essence, the study of comparative mythology reveals a profound connection between disparate cultures through their myths. The Sumerian tales, with their unique details and universal themes, offer a glimpse into how ancient peoples sought to understand their world and their place within it. By comparing these stories, we uncover not only the distinctiveness of each culture, but also the shared human experience that transcends time and geography. Every ancient myth tells a story, and the myths of Sumer are no different, carrying whispers of a world that once thrived under the shadow of gods and the light of stars. As we piece together the fragments of their epic tales, a remarkable tapestry emerges, one woven from divine legends, heroic quests, and profound truths about the human condition. In the heart of Sumerian mythology, we find gods like Anu, Enlil, and Enki, who shape not just the cosmos but also the destinies of mortals. Anu, the sky god, is the towering figure whose influence stretches across the heavens, embodying the ancient desire to understand the vast and mysterious universe. Enlil, with his control over air and storms, brings the raw power of nature into the realm of divine authority. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, represents the nurturing aspect of the divine, guiding humanity with knowledge and compassion. Each deity contributes to a complex pantheon where gods and humans are intertwined in a dance of fate and free will. Among these deities, Inanna stands out with her dual nature as both the goddess of love and war. Her story, especially her dramatic descent into the underworld, captures the essence of human vulnerability and the search for redemption. Inanna's adventures reflect the intense emotional and moral struggles that define the human experience, demonstrating how myths can mirror our deepest fears and desires. Utu, the sun god, shines as the embodiment of justice and truth, casting light on the moral fabric of Sumerian society. His role goes beyond mere illumination. It is about upholding the law and ensuring fairness, bridging the divine and mortal realms with a sense of cosmic order. Through Utu, we see how mythology serves to enforce societal values and ethical standards, making the divine a constant presence in the everyday life of ancient peoples. Ninhursag, the earth goddess, underscores the connection between the divine and the natural world. Her role in fertility and agriculture speaks to humanity's reliance on nature and the divine's influence over it. The myths surrounding her interactions with other deities show a world where the forces of nature are both revered and feared, reflecting an ancient respect for the earth and its cycles. Ereshkigal, queen of the underworld, offers a stark contrast to the other gods with her dominion over the afterlife. Her complex relationship with her sister Inanna highlights the Sumerian view of death and the underworld, a realm both feared and inevitable. Through Ereshkigal, we glimpse the Sumerian understanding of mortality and the afterlife, a haunting reflection on the end of human existence and the fate that awaits beyond the grave. The Epic of Gilgamesh, a central piece of Sumerian literature, brings together many of these themes in a powerful narrative of heroism, friendship, and the quest for immortality. Gilgamesh's journey is more than an adventure, it is a profound exploration of human limits and the search for meaning in a transient world. This epic resonates through time, revealing the universal struggle to find purpose and leave a lasting legacy. Creation myths and stories of the Great Flood reveal a shared human concern with beginnings and endings. These myths are not just about cosmic events, but about the cyclical nature of life and the moral lessons that come with such upheavals. The similarities between Sumerian and other ancient flood myths show a common narrative thread, linking diverse cultures through their common fears and hopes. Heroic myths highlight the qualities that ancient societies valued: bravery, wisdom, and the struggle against overwhelming odds. The Sumerian heroes, like Gilgamesh, mirror the heroic figures of other cultures, yet each brings a unique perspective on what it means to be a hero. These stories offer insight into the values and aspirations of their societies, showing how myths serve as both entertainment and moral instruction. Magic and sorcery play a significant role in Sumerian mythology, illustrating how the ancient Sumerians understood and manipulated the mystical forces around them. The figures associated with magic are both revered and feared, their practices reflecting a deep-seated belief in the power of the unseen. This aspect of Sumerian mythology underscores the human desire to control and comprehend the world beyond ordinary perception. Comparing Sumerian mythology with other ancient mythologies reveals a rich tapestry of shared themes and unique characteristics. These comparisons help us understand how different cultures addressed similar questions about existence, morality, and the divine. The interplay between common motifs and distinct details enriches our appreciation of the ancient world and its diverse ways of understanding life. The study of Sumerian language and literature reveals the painstaking efforts to preserve and translate these ancient stories. The cuneiform script, with its intricate symbols, has allowed us to access a world that might otherwise remain lost. The challenges of translation are met with triumphs that bring the voices of the past to life, connecting us with a civilization that continues to inspire and intrigue. Finally, the legacy of Sumerian mythology is evident in its influence on later Mesopotamian cultures and its ongoing impact on modern interpretations. The preservation and rediscovery of Sumerian texts have allowed these ancient stories to transcend time, offering a window into a world that still captivates our imagination. Each chapter of Sumerian mythology contributes to a grand narrative that spans the cosmos and the human heart. Through these ancient stories, we connect with a distant past, finding echoes of our own struggles, hopes, and dreams in the myths of a civilization that once stood at the cradle of human history.